Allie started out slow. She told me to get down on my knees. I did as she asked. I watched her, knowing that I was in for a treat. Don't look at me, she said. Close your eyes. I'll let you know if I want you to look at me. I did as she asked and smiled. She slapped me hard against the face. What are you smiling at, pretty girl? Nothing? I didn't know how to address her. Mistress? Allie seemed so casual. What would you like me to call you? You don't need to call me at all, but I'll call you my little slut. I'll be your slut. You would, wouldn't you? She slapped my chest hard, taking my breath away. I couldn't help but smiling. I was living a fantasy. It felt so good to be in her web, waiting to be devoured. I felt the warmth rising off my skin where her hands had just left my body. Her hands struck down again. Sexual energy radiated off my chest as she picked me up by my flesh around my breast. My body nearly lifted all the way off the ground. She toyed with me like a cat, with her prey, swallowing me and spitting me back out again. The ropes teased and tormented me, biting and cutting into my body, suspending my chest, and then the rest of my body from the ground. She lay down underneath me, looking up at me, smiling. Her body under mine, with only a foot or two between our bodies. I wanted her so badly, and she knew it. Kiss me, she spoke softly but firmly. I struggled against my ropes, for my lips to meet hers, my suspended legs climbing up the ropes to bring my face closer to the ground, closer to Allie and her awaiting lips. I was inches away from her, trying with everything in my body to allow a meeting of her lips and mine. I could taste them. I could feel her warm breath from here, the sweet scent of her exhale. But try what I might, I couldn't do it. She laughed, a sadistic laugh of an ornery child. You can't do it, can you? So close and yet so far away. Allie adjusted the ropes, raising one of my legs up high toward the ceiling, and the other leg folded and tied underneath the right leg. I stretched my legs, flipping around in the bondage, exploring my range of motion, exploring how close I could get to Allie before she'd rip off my flesh and yank me by the hair and bring me in close. It felt like a child's game, where little boys like me ran around kissing girls like her and secretly wishing for cowboy and Indian games where I might end up captured and at her mercy. I would bite the girls I liked when I was a little girl. I knew I wanted to do something with them. I wanted to swallow them in some manner, and so I'd open up my mouth and sink my teeth in, and then I'd hold them tight in my arms while they cried. My mother thought I was a freak and didn't understand my behavior. My mother would bite me in return for my ill manners. My body spun around in circles, my body weight crushing down on my ribcage, constricting my breath, making me dizzy with lust. My eyes darted into her. She grabbed me by the hair, parading me around in circles, letting me go like a spinning top. I felt nauseated. Can I have a sip of water? Of course. She brought the water over and poured it into my open mouth, and I swallowed like a baby bird. Water droplets dripped from my chin onto the hardwood floor. Allie turned my ass to the mirrored wall. That's a fucking hot ass. Look at that ass. Allie made a fist and started punching my ass cheeks and thighs. It felt so good having her hard, rounded paws slamming against my muscles. It felt like she might break into me if she hit hard enough. She might get inside of me somewhere where few people venture. I might be able to let her in, to let her hold me, to let her be inside of me. I felt safe in the soft, buzzing light that radiated from my body when her body forced impact upon mine. It felt luscious. I lost myself in the wires of the ropes again, lost in a world that ended before the camera flash would meet my eyes. I closed my eyes and felt a wet tongue, sweet mouth surrounding my nipples. Her teeth sunk in. I was the boy playing cowboys and Indians, and I had met my match. Allie lowered my body slowly to the ground and started to undo my bondage. Raise your arms and close your eyes. I have a surprise for you. I smiled. I figured I had raised my arms to give her better access to my breast for punishment, but I was wrong. A quick familiar sting of a wooden cane hit my armpit. Arms automatically wanted to go down. I had to force them to stay up. I'd never been caned on my armpits before. I never really thought of stimulating one's armpits. I loved the cane. The sting was beautiful. It tasted of raspberry and lemon singing through my body and maniac-electric jolts. But it seemed that the glands in your armpits must be connected to your tear ducts as my eyes started to swell with water. Not tears, but water. I cringed as my beloved wooden implement stung my pits over and over again, and then I smiled a little and started to laugh, and she came down onto the floor with me and held me for a moment and looked into my eyes and kissed me on the forehead. I lay in a pile of undone ropes, the haze of a beautiful sleepy dream. I was ready to go home. We signed the obligatory paperwork, received our checks, and jumped into a taxi to pull out the sleeper couch that awaited us in Brooklyn. Allie's warm body felt good wrapped around mine. Her small frame fit perfectly into the nooks and crannies, and the scent of her hair wafted up into my nostrils. It gave me a sense of peace in my body. It was ridden of anxious energy from the pain medication I had taken from my continued cramping. Her arms wrapped around my body, and her small clammy hand reached for mine. And for just a moment, things felt right in the world. I felt like maybe it was all a dream, the pregnancy, the abortion. Maybe it was just a dream. I'd been lying in this woman's arms all of my life, and I didn't know if I was Madison Young or Kelly Trucker laying in her arms. It didn't much matter anymore. I had been carrying the baggage of both women these days, and their loads had gotten increasingly heavy and consolidated into one heavy bag. It felt good to be enveloped by someone who understood, someone who accepted and was growing to know each of my characters, each of their realities. But in this bed, nothing else seemed to exist or matter in the moment, and I just wanted to let everything else, and I just wanted to let everything go and hand myself over to her. I wanted to take her hand up to my mouth and devour it, press my lips to her flesh and taste its salty nature and sweet aftertaste. I could see my pursed lips around her fingers, sucking my teeth around her tiny nipple, pressing in gently, and then with intense desire. It felt good enveloped in her arms. I hadn't felt that same flutter in my pussy coupled with a warm blanket of security since my gauge left. There was a certain flutter that I could only get when nestled up closely to a woman that was impossible to achieve with a man. It's the safety and overwhelming feeling of being surrounded by a beautiful creature, and instantly I turned into a teenage boy. My heart raced as her hands traced up and down my body. Her soft legs rubbed gently against mine, soft and soothing like a cup of warm milk before bed. We gently stirred against each other, sexual tension building, and I finally fell asleep from exhaustion and absorption of unfulfilled sexual desire. The busy white noise sounds of the airport play in my head, my eyes dry and tired from the air-conditioned airport air and a 4:30 a.m. wake-up call. It seemed all so familiar. I couldn't be sure if I'd been sitting in this airport for 20 minutes or for 2 years. It seemed I was always waiting for departure but never leaving the ground. But I would sit here and wait with my computer glued to my lap and the smell of Allie's soft body ingrained in my mind.